any program, any opportunity you have to distinguish yourself and do something that makes you more of an expert in your field, it's going to make your road to where you're going much easier.
The sneaker industry is an exciting business, and this course is going to cover all aspects, including design, manufacturing, sneaker history, marketing, media, and distribution.
Sneakers are the official footwear for what we now know as a global phenomenon that is hip-hop culture. Sneakers represented anti-establishment, just like hip-hop, the movement itself. So when you think about the birth of hip-hop in the 70s, there at the same time were a lot of places you could not go wearing sneakers. And since hip-hop and its related elements were all about anti-establishment and youthful expression and creativity, it was just natural that a sneaker represented that movement. So when you talk about the birth and expansion of sneakers into what it is today, you can never disassociate it from the origins and its role in hip-hop culture.
It evolved on its own to a degree in Europe, because in Europe you had Adidas, and Adidas obviously was a huge thing. Adidas remains a huge thing. And you also had terrace culture in soccer stadiums and football stadiums where you'd stand and watch matches, and people would wear general Adidas, you know, I guess you'd almost call it just a sports shoe. You know, it's made for training, it's made for anything. You know, Japan, I think, is something entirely different and is sort of a culture in and of itself where they took certain things from American sneaker culture and sort of hit them back to us. It's almost like we served it to them and they put it back with a whole lot of backspin on it.
Now with the digital age, it's really changed. You're not just managing one thing, you're sort of like, you have to oversee, you have to think about it as an entire brand, especially if you're running a media site.
To me, the best definition of a brand is something that people, consumers, but I prefer people, what people perceive to be irreplaceable. If they perceive something to be irreplaceable, you know that you have a very strong, vibrant brand that's going to do amazingly well. If you go into the sneaker world, the strongest brand in my view, maybe a little biased, but I think it's Nike. And I think Nike's done a great job of differentiating it from Reebok and from Adidas. You look at the Nike brand today, over 35% market share in the US compared to Adidas at 11%. So a lot of that comes from the way that brand has been defined over time. And I feel very fortunate having been a part of that.
So if we think about design seasons, it really happens on two separate tracks. In sneakers as fashion streetwear, which is predominantly the volume in the business these days, you're following more of a fashion season. You're looking at a lot of things coming down from the runways or even up from the fitness companies, but as streetwear. And those are dedicated deliveries. Those really happen in fall, spring, pre-collection. You're talking between 4 and 6 drops a year that are based largely on the wholesale business and the direct store business.
So a design brief is basically a package of information that is a tool for a designer to use to figure out their demographic of who they're designing for. There is also price points given. Price points is a nice structure to give designers so that they won't over or under design and put the necessary materials in place to have that shoe meet its costing parameters.
But if you want to design a shoe, you really have to conceptualize what is required for a particular sport. Do you need traction? Do you need flexibility? For example, if you wear a tennis shoe that gives you too much stick, you're going to sprain your ankle. Based on your body weight, based on the surface that you're on, you're really going to have to pick the type of treading in that shoe.
All of us who are in the sneaker game for as long as we have, we were part of the group of people that were just trying to figure out what the hell we were doing. To have people help you get past that point is extremely valuable. So if you can take your passion and turn it into a career and never feel like you're going to work, you've done it.